Hello everyone and welcome to today's Dux-Soup webinar. I'm Adam Osman, Head of Marketing at Dux-Soup, and with me today are Jin Kuzminskate, our Head of Customer Support, Giles Garnett, our Head of Professional Services, and our speaker today, Charlie Clark of Minty Digital. So just some quick housekeeping points before we start the main presentation. This is a business-focused webinar, so we're not doing a deep dive into the technical aspects of Dux-Soup. Everyone is on mute, but if you do have questions, just pop them in the chat box and Jin and Giles will answer these as we go. Any specific questions for Charlie, we'll cover off at the end in a Q&A. You can always email questions after the webinar and a recording will be available in case you have to drop off early. So on to a bit of information about our speaker. I had a great chat with Charlie and the team on Friday, and Charlie mentioned that before he turned his hand to delivering successful SEO and marketing campaigns, he was working as an extra in the Bollywood film industry in Mumbai. That'd be a fascinating story to hear another day. But I'm sure today, Charlie will deliver an Oscar-winning performance. Charlie brings a very fresh approach to marketing and SEO, and his presentation highlights what I think is quite an innovative use of Dux-Soup. So without further delay, over to you, Charlie.
Hi, thanks for the intro, Adam. So welcome everyone, thank you for joining. I'd like to introduce you to our webinar on how we use LinkedIn automation to help build links for SEO. So let's get started with what we're going to cover today. We're going to give you a short overview of our SEO strategies, an introduction to link building, its importance for SEO, how we use automation tools to build links, how we create relevant content, creating LinkedIn connections, how to listen into your network, and how to follow up. But first of all, let's get to know each other. Can everyone just drop in the comments what edition of Dux-Soup you're using? Are you using free, turbo, pro? It'd be really good to get some feedback here and see what we're see who's in the room, and also how long you've been using Dux-Soup for. For us, we're a user of Dux-Soup Pro. And the main reasons we use it are to build connections with local business owners. We use it for lead generation. We use it for growing organic reach on LinkedIn. And we also use it for SEO automation. And a bit about me and our company. I'm the owner of Minty Digital. We're an award-winning Google partnered marketing agency. We specialize in PPC and SEO. That's pay-per-click and search engine optimization for those who do not know. We've got offices in the UK and Barcelona. We have over 25 years combined experience, and I've been a Dux-Soup Pro user now for over 3 years. And our end company goal is to help businesses scale online. We've also just recently won the Prestige Award for SEO Service of the Year 2020. And considering the circumstances all around this year, it's something us and the team are really proud of. I've also just included a quick snapshot of some of the attendees of our previous strategy talks. But anyway, enough about me. Let's get into it. I want to start off by giving a brief overview of the 4 key areas that we focus on when working on an SEO campaign. And although we're going to be diving into automated link building, it's really important to have an overview of all of the components involved when looking to drive more organic sales and leads to a website. So first off, the technical audit. How do we do it? The technical audit, it consists of an in-depth crawl. So really looking under the hood of your website to map out any issues that prevent you from ranking on Google. The screenshot here is a tool we use, one of many. We actually use about 10 tools for our technical audit, but this one's called Screaming Frog. It's free and it allows you to give a technical overview of your website. And to follow on from that, you don't actually just have to use it for your own website. You can also use it to look at what your competitors are up to. And in the week, they've released some really good updates. So instead of on top of the normal technical SEO information you can pull out, they've also released some updates that can help you identify duplicate content on your website, spelling mistakes, grammar mistakes, and more. Once we've completed the audit, we then set out a plan to ensure all of the issues that we find are fixed. And the implementation of these technical fixes can take anywhere from a few weeks to over 6 months. Second, we have the content audit. So the content audit, why do you need one? Google analyzes the whole of your website to determine an overall content quality score. So what we do is analyze all of the pages on your website to determine any of them that fall under the category of low quality, which we can then improve. Some of the most common areas for improvement we see are keyword stuffing. So for example, if you're trying to rank your website for men's trainers and you place the keyword men's trainers 30 times in your homepage copy, it's not going to work. Google are too smart to realize this. It used to work 5 to 10 years ago, but not now. Thin content, pages with less than, say, 100 words. If any of you are using WordPress themes and you haven't optimized your website for SEO before, there's a high chance that your website may fall under this category. And it's because WordPress, by default, especially if you're using a theme, will generate all sorts of extra pages that you don't need, and they need to be de-indexed. And I'd say around 80 to 90% of all WordPress sites that we audit always flag this issue up. We also look into FAQs, frequently asked questions, optimization. So questions that your customers are asking, we make sure that they're up to date and relevant. And we also look at out of date content. So making sure all of the content on your website is right and it's factually correct. We also analyze things such as high ranking competitor content, and we make sure that the best principles from this content are also being adopted by our clients to help produce the competitive advantage. Now, there's hundreds of resources online, and we have plenty of our own in-house templates for content audits. But if you'd like some links to this, as Adam mentioned, our contact details will be at the end, and we're more than happy to provide you with that information. Next, keyword research and content plan. So this is the one most people are familiar with. So this part of the strategy is where we put a content plan together, which is backed by data and also active searches. So what do we mean by this? Too many clients that we work with have a blog, or they have landing pages which are not backed up by keyword research, and they're not optimized correctly for search engines. And what this means is that you can publish all of the content you like, but if you're not optimizing it for keywords that your customers are searching for, you could be wasting your time. This screenshot's a quick example of what we like to call a content cloud. And in summary, it's where we research the search volumes of keywords related to topics that we want to rank for. And from there, we create blog post ideas from where we can look to generate traffic from. And this ensures the content that we write for you is relevant and optimized for keywords that your target audience is actively searching for. Number 4, link building strategy. We're going to get into more detail, of course, with link building and automated link building. But in summary, this is the part of the strategy where we analyze the backlink profiles of your competitors to determine which backlinks we can potentially replicate, finding new opportunities to create links for your website as well. We're going to go into a little bit more information on exactly how link building works in a minute, but this screenshot shows a comparison of the backlink profile. So how many backlinks each website has between one of our clients and their main competitors. You can see from this one that Ancestry, which a lot of you might be familiar with, it's a DNA matching company. They have a ginormous amount of backlinks compared to the other websites that we were comparing against. So our job is to find out why that is and how we can build momentum for our clients to start matching the same backlink profile of our competitors. So the main reason to build links. Let's start with a link building 101. So for those of you that don't know, link building is the process of getting other websites to link back to your website. All marketers and business owners should be building links to their website for a number of reasons, including to build site authority. When you increase the site authority and relevance, you will then see subsequently your keyword rankings and traffic rise. And with a few other tricks, you can also see your conversions increase. So to summarize, the main reasons you should build links is to help Google discover new pages. So you need to help Google index and navigate your site. If you create a new blog topic and other websites linked to it, this can help Google see your site as relevant, authoritative, and prioritize your page over others in the Google search results. You can also use it to allow new users to find your site through referral traffic, directory links, guest posts, or placements. And you can also use it to build your website's authority. Building website authority is a key factor around this, and we're going to explain that a little bit more. So, how does link building work? We're going to show an example here of a typical e-commerce website. So, step one, your website's up and running, and your website sells products online, such as leadership courses, online training, software packages, and more. But there's a problem. Although you're a reputable company, you're out there competing with millions of other websites within the same sector. So Google needs an indicator as to which website should be the most prominent in the search engines. As of January 2020, there were over 1.74 billion websites on the internet. And since the lockdown, there's been another massive spike in users on websites such as Shopify, Wix, and many more, as more of the world is turning online. So in short, the competition's fierce, and you need to have a solid link building strategy in place to get ahead. So how do we get noticed? Over time, it's your job to generate links to your website or your marketing team. This can be done with a number of ways. So some examples we have here is by building links from high quality websites, by featuring in their blogs, or creating your own amazing on-site content, which we're going to go into more detail with later on in the presentation. But the end goal is to create valuable content which allows other websites to link back to your website. And the end goal is a quick screenshot from one of our recent client results. Once Google sees you have these high quality sites linking back to your site, and the rest of your SEO strategy has been implemented correctly, then Google's going to see your website as reputable, and they're going to push you up in the search results. So let's get into it. How do we use Dux-Soup to build links? There's 3 tools that we use to build links. One of them is Dux-Soup Pro. Another one's Twitter. And the final one is called Harrow, Help a Reporter Out. But what's first before we use these tools? We need a good piece of relevant content to outreach. We're going to show you a small example today of a travel client and how we would lay out a link building strategy for a client in this sector. So our objective is to secure a high quality link for a content piece that we create. Step 1, we choose your topic. When we chose the travel client for an example, as it wasn't relevant a few months ago, as I'm sure all of you know, but it certainly is now. How do we know that? We're starting to see a spike in interest around this topic, and we use tools such as Google Trends to search for these trending topics. So from this screenshot, we can see the term "where can I travel" has really peaked towards the end of June after a few months of reasonably low interest. Now, this is a search in the UK, but if you're creating a piece of content that's going globally, it's also important to use variations of terms. So for example, here we have vacation as a term rather than holidays or where can I travel, because what you find, of course, in countries outside to where we operate mainly, there's still a lot of interest around these terms. We also use a tool called Answer the Public to research questions people are asking about our keywords. So if we see terms and topics such as travel are rising in popularity, we can put into the search bar on Answer the Public a keyword, a search term such as "when can I travel?" and it's going to come up with a lot of different variations here. So from this screenshot, you can see "when can I travel Europe?" "When can I travel COVID-19? When can I travel to Canada?" The real benefit of this tool is that it automatically generates all of the keywords and search terms that people are actively searching for. And from there, what you can do is use a tool like Google Keyword Planner and export these keywords from a tool such as Answer the Public put them into Google Keyword Planner and find out how many people are searching for these terms a month. And that will give you a real good idea about the sort of content you should be writing about. So now what? We've done the research, it's completed, and now it's time to choose the topic. We've chosen an example here of a content piece called "Which countries will I be able to visit this summer?" So you can create a piece of content here. What you can do is there's two main common examples of content among many, but the examples we're going to show you here is that you might want to write an article for a guest post. So you could write a in-depth content piece, say 1,000, 2,000 words, or you could create an infographic or something similar. So a good example here may be an interactive map showing you all of the places that you'll be able to travel to and from this summer, maybe some timelines, some dates, a little bit more information about the terms. There's so much scope when it comes to content, and it's a lot to go through on one webinar, but of course, any questions, please fire us an email at the end and we'll be happy to help. So after you create your piece of high quality content, you can then introduce Dux-Soup. And this is our favorite bit. There's a process we have to using Dux-Soup Pro, of course, when we're looking to outreach on LinkedIn. And we have the first step, which is the outreach. The second step, which is making the connections. Third step, messaging the connections. Fourth step, having the right strategy for creating lifetime relationships after we've connected, which is the fifth point. Now, outreach. In this example, for our content piece, an ideal candidate for publishing our content would be a travel journalist. So what we do in the search bar on LinkedIn is we run an exact match search on Dux-Soup by using a term such as travel journalists. For those people that aren't aware, the exact match, we use the two quotation marks, and this will only return results in LinkedIn which have the exact term travel journalist. And this prevents you from connecting to irrelevant audiences, because it's not just inconvenient for the people that you're connecting with. If they're not in the same sector, it's also quite spammy, and you want to make sure that the people that you're targeting are highly qualified, so to speak. The second step would be to, after you get the search results up, start the automation. So you can type in your own outreach message, as I'm sure some of you know, in the Dux-Soup toolbar. And what we do is run a simple Dux-Soup outreach message along the lines of, "Hi, first name. I'm reaching out as we have created an awesome content piece titled article name here, and we'd love to share it with you. If this is of interest, it would be great to connect." Now, it's really important to use the first name for personalization, because personalizing the outreach message gives you a much higher chance of connecting. So this is an example of what we'd use if we had a content piece ready. But what we also do as well, if we don't have an active piece of content, sometimes we run a general outreach message and we just look to build our network. So if we don't have content ready and we're just looking to connect with local journalists, we can try something like this. And it's more of a generic, I'm reaching out, we run a marketing agency and we're looking to connect with local journalists. We've always got lots of interesting content to share, so it would be great to connect with you. Now, what I love about this is that it saves us so much time. Like, we can build our network without even having to manually build our network. I set a reminder up in my task list, and every 3 to 4 days, what I do is I set up an automation procedure, run Dux-Soup, start to outreach to journalists, and I just minimize the window and let it run in the background. It's great. And here's a typical example, something we got yesterday actually, and it's someone that's reached back out to us, and it's normally what we always get. People are we're not trying to sell people something here. Like, we're offering people real value. And this is the important factor around this. We're not trying to push a sale. We're not trying to be intrusive. We're actually offering journalists free value. So a lot of the messages we get back are people thanking us, and they are actually happy to connect with us. There you are. We love making connections. So yeah, what we're doing here is, like, we're pitching ideas. when we have a topic piece ready, and we're also building our networking list, which we can run in the background. And we're going to talk about more how that benefits us in a second. But first of all, following up. How many times? We always say after connecting, we follow up a minimum of 5 times. Now, you may think that's going to annoy people, but the answer is no. The facts are people are busy and they're not going to respond to a stranger's request first time, or they may even forget about it. So it's always important to follow up. A personal LinkedIn story I have about this is when we actually first started our marketing agency, and I contacted the CEO of one of the leading digital marketing agencies in the UK, and he actually ignored my messages. He read them, but he never responded for over 2 years. And I just used to send him an update every 2 to 3 months to let him know about the growth of our agency, how many more clients we were getting, how many team members we had. And after 2 years, he finally responded, and he invited us to our head office in London. And I've started to receive face-to-face mentoring on how to build our digital marketing agency. I thought I was being ignored for over 2 years, but it's taught me a lesson that I'm hoping I can pass on to some of you, which is we can't give up. And I know there's probably a few salespeople in here that know this, but it's really important. You need to keep trying. So to follow on from that, our top 3 follow-up tips are, 80% of sales require at least 5 follow-ups. Again, you might not think this is a sale, but it is. You're selling value of yourself to the people you're connecting with. So it's important to follow up to show them you're interested and engaged and not just another automated message. So ways you can do that is personalization. So personalization is key. When you're connecting with these people again, find a connection. Have you worked in a similar role? What kind of topics do the journalists write about? What are their interests? Are you based in the same town or city? Can you even invite them for a coffee? Yes, it takes time, but you're already saving so much time connecting with Dux-Soup. It's really important that you take these extra steps to ensure that you get the maximum results from your campaign. And also, don't just follow up on LinkedIn. What we also do is extract our audiences. And with Dux-Soup, what you have the ability to do is export your connections to an Excel sheet. And then what we do from there is create a master database of contacts, which are segmented by industry. So, in this example and presentation, we're talking about journalists today, but we also have one for sales prospects, for industry experts, basically whatever it is that you're looking for, or whatever it is your business goals are, you can create a separate audience database for each of these. Now, from there, what our team does is pulls out and connects with not just their LinkedIn profile, but also their Instagram profile. We get their Twitter profile, we get their company email sometimes. And you might think it's a bit obsessive, but no. The facts are journalists are always on the lookout for contributions to their articles. So by building a solid network, you can keep track of this in real time across multiple social channels, allowing you to jump onto these opportunities and make sure that you're the first marketer that responds to their requests. Also, if you've got a team, keeping a central database of these connections is good for future employees to refer to. For example, if you have an ad hoc outreach article, an example here could be a niche subject. If you're writing a travel piece, you might want to write to an industry-specific journalist who specializes in travel. And again, we're saving time here. We're automating and streamlining the processes. Here's an example here of we've got through Twitter. We can identify new opportunities for article contributions to your feed. So these can be through direct requests on their feed. You can connect with journalists and get these show up in real time. Or you can also search for hashtags such as journo requests. And again, people are always on the lookout for article pieces. The other tool we use is Harrow. So that's helpareporter.com. Harrow provides journalists with the opportunity to ask members of the platform for expert contributions on a daily basis. So Harrow normally send about 3 emails a day, which can get a bit annoying, but you can set your filters up to minimize this and customize it. But what they do is send requests from the platform and ask for expert comments. So you can see in the example here, you have journalists asking for contributions towards managing digital workforces, companies that have pivoted during the lockdown, ways for small businesses to change once they're back to normal. So there's a lot of different requests here, but we use it to listen out for requests from journalists who are looking for article contributions in our customer areas. And it's important to say it's a free tool, but you can pay for the premium version. It's not too expensive, and you can really filter the results and requests that you're getting through. So the results, that's what we know. Here's some examples of where our links have been featured using the methods mentioned in this presentation. So we've got some real kind of top companies here. I mean, the World Health Organization was one of the biggest links we've managed to obtain recently. MSN, which is big in the USA. Hollywood Life is also quite a big magazine down in California. And the Independent newspaper, big in the UK. And an example of an e-commerce customer that we've worked with over the past year. And this was actually the customer that helped us win the award for SEO Service of the Year. We tied in a technical audit, a content strategy, and a link building strategy, both automated and manual, to achieve a 419% increase in revenue year on year, over 100% increase in conversion rate year on year, and a 331% increase in transactions. We've also got a screenshot here of another customer who we've used similar methods before, which saw a 56% increase in revenue, 50% increase in conversion rates, and 71% increase in transactions. And the final screenshot, I'll stop showing my results after this, is an estimated 11,500 more monthly visits to a small local website. So this spike you can see here is since the latest Google update, using the strategies and methods we've just shown you in this presentation, generating real results and real traffic for customers in various niches, from small startups to multinational organizations. So that's our presentation. And I just want to let everyone know that we're offering a free SEO review to anyone who's visited the webinar, and also a free PPC campaign review. You can just follow the links there. We've also got a direct contact for me if you have any questions. And thank you for joining. I'll pass it back over to Adam.
Shall we do the Q&A now? Because I have a few questions people really wanted to ask you.
Yeah. That's absolutely fine.
Would be, do you recommend Squarespace, or should I transition to WordPress? And are these tools, strategies applicable to Squarespace?
With Squarespace, we always try and steer away from customers using automated tools. I mean, Shopify, we've worked with customers on before, and we've had some really good results. But we found out, with tools such as Squarespace and Wix, you can actually be quite limited with the SEO due to the way the platform's set up. So it would all depend on the exact use case. Like I say, you're free to send us a message with your website URL, and we can give you a bit of a better recommendation. But in general, yes, we recommend using tools such as WordPress or Shopify for e-commerce.
John, is Wix a non-starter?
Non-starter? Sorry, did you say non-starter?
Yes. Is Wix a non-starter?
I'm not 100% sure what's meant by non-starter in that question. If John could elaborate a little bit more on what he means by that question, I'd be happy to answer.
Some people are saying, is Wix a no-go?
Okay, exactly. I mean, we personally don't recommend Wix. It's great maybe if you're running a small store by yourself, but if you're really looking to generate large amounts of traffic and sales, like we always try and push away from these kind of drag and drop website builder subscription websites. I know I can't say anything too bad about the platform. It works great for some people, but from our experience, there's some serious limitations with these tools. And when you get a professional SEO tech team to start looking under the hood, there's just some things that are possible on a custom build.
Thank you. Charles is asking, are you doing any email outreach for links?
Yes, we are. We use a couple of other automation tools. Our SEO team do. One of them is MailShake, and there's a number of different ways that we use for link building outreach with this. But MailShake's a great tool, and they've also got a really good Academy section, which again is free, so you can learn about everything. You can learn everything that they offer and how to use their tools there. But we've built some really good links with MailShake.
Thank you. Red is asking, is setting up a blog network a good idea?
Well, PBN, I wouldn't recommend that nowadays. I mean, it does still work, but I would definitely call it more on the side of black hat SEO. And personally, I wouldn't recommend a client to start using a PBN for generating links. The thing is, even if it's still working now, they're not natural links. They're user generated links, and Google's getting smarter by the day. They're releasing algorithm updates all the time, and they're going to catch on. So it's best to do things the right way and generate natural links with real quality for your customers. You can take shortcuts, but I just don't think long term something like a PBN is going to work out.
People would you recommend to work on SEO, lead generation, etc.?
For SEO lead generation?
Yes.
So for generating leads for SEO clients, does that mean? Or for generating link building prospects?
Clients, yes, clients. Lara responded.
I mean, you can do it yourself. When we first started out the company, and we use Dux-Soup for this as well. The great thing about the automation tools is that you can really highly target who you're looking for, and it saves you so much time with manual outreach. So if you're offering people the right service, and you've got the right sector, and you've got some relevant case studies, I personally think you can do it by yourself. But if you've got the budget and you've got the finances, then yeah, hire a specialist salesperson, because sales is, I mean, it's the more you put in, the more you're going to get out of it. So yeah, it all depends on the finances of the company, I think, and what position you're in.
We are extracting email lists for external email campaigns. Is there any issues around this?
Yeah, I mean, it depends on the business emails. You're allowed to contact business emails. If it's personal email addresses, then we wouldn't share that information. But for company outreach, yeah, you're allowed to outreach to business emails.
What information do you need for a SEO review?
What information do I need? We just need the website. If they click on the link, then there's a link on the screen up now, and you just type in your websites, and what we normally do is we provide a list of around 2 to 3 recommendations, what we call the quick wins. We think they're the most important issues to rectify on your website, and then after we present that quick wins document, if we feel that you can really benefit from a longer term SEO strategy, then we can highlight that with you.
Thank you. Another question. There's a lot of questions. Matthew is asking, would you be able to compare MailChimp and MailShake? Which one would be better?
They have 2 different purposes. So MailChimp's more for email marketing and newsletters and sales emails, whereas MailShake is more for outreach. It's automated outreach on scale. So they have 2 completely different use cases. So it really depends. If you're doing email newsletters or products, then use MailChimp. Or if you're looking to outreach information, use MailShake.
Of any good open source email platforms that people could use for SEO email automation?
No, not personally. No, we have the tools we use in house are Active Campaign, which is not open source, but it's highly customizable with automation, the automation that they offer, and also, I say, MailShake's one that we use every day.
Harrow Premium subscription worth the cost?
I would say so if you use it enough. If you're, I would say we're an agency, so we work with quite a lot of clients. So we're using it day in, day out, and there's always a lot of relevant pieces of content that we can outreach to, because there's such a varied amount of requests coming through from journalists. Then it's always relevant for at least one of our clients. If you're running it yourself for, say, a one-man band company, then I would say use the free version.
Catherine is asking, do you have any suggestions for other search terms besides journalist?
I mean, it all depends, I suppose, who you're. I mean, you could go for editor-in-chief. Yeah, I mean, outreach, blogger. There's quite a few different search terms you could search around this. Yeah, travel journalists was just one example. You might also want to say, like, if your niche is business journalists, healthcare journalists, eco-living journalists. It all depends on your industry, and you can just, once you know the sort of content or people you're trying to outreach to, then I would say create a list of around 10 to 15 different titles based on variations of the common ones that you see, and then from there you can outreach like that.
Thank you. Another question about Harrow. Does it work in Spain, or if it doesn't, do you know any similar Spanish programs?
Yeah, so no, I mean, we're based in Barcelona, but we just receive requests mainly from UK and US based journalists. With Spain, I don't know any specific to Spain, but on the other hand of things, I also haven't looked for anything specific to Spain. So yeah, I'm not 100% sure on that one, but I would also say that the Harrow, it's not just the UK, like it does come up with global results as well.
How do journalists improve the SEO? Do they use the content in their publications? Why people should target journalists?
Sorry, can you repeat that?
The SEO, do they use the content in their publications?
How can journalists improve their SEO? It all depends on the objective of what the journalist has. If they're looking to promote their own brand through SEO, then I would suggest that they create their own news site with articles being published on there. In regards to if a journalist works for another company, and in our case we're looking to get content published on websites which have a high amount of traffic, that might not necessarily benefit a journalist directly in terms of SEO, but it will in terms of the amount of quality articles they can get published for their company.
Alternatives to Harrow that offer more localized requests?
No, Harrow is the only tool that we use at the moment in-house for inbound automation. For everything else, like I say, we use Dux-Soup because we can really tailor the type of journalist that we're looking to outreach to.
Thank you. It seems that we are out of questions at the moment.
How do journalists, I think the question was talking about how does contacting journalists improve your SEO? So I think they're asking, obviously you've sent them a content piece. Are you saying that the journalist will then use that and provide links back to your client website? How does that actually work in practice?
Yes, that's exactly what I meant. I misunderstood that question. Yes. So after we push the content, to the journalists, what they'll do is when they publish that content, they will usually put a link in that content back towards our client's website. And from there, that's how we generate the referral traffic and the organic boosts. Does that answer the question?
How the content that you're sending out leads to backlinks for your clients, which will improve SEO.
Yeah, sorry, apologies if that wasn't clear, but yeah, that's exactly what we look to do.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you for everyone that joined.
Well, just to wrap up, I think just want to say thank you, Charlie, for providing a really good overview of your process for generating better and improving SEO. I think it's quite a different use for Dux-Soup. I think you talked about some good techniques to get these links and this link building efforts up and running. I liked how you talked about using Dux-Soup to identify your target audience, building relationships. I thought it was interesting your connection message wasn't salesy. It was really, a very
relationship building.
Yeah, a relationship building, quite gentle sort of outreach, I think. And then I liked what you're talking about in terms of follow-ups and being persistent about your follow-ups, taking the time. And although it can be time consuming, doing it properly really pays off the values, and that's enables you to maximize your results from this type of activity. And I thought, again, I've come across Harrow before. I think integrating Dux-Soup with your SEO and Harrow gives you this quite a neat process, which you've obviously honed over multiple campaigns with your clients. So just want to say thank you once again for outlining that for us today.
Thank you very much.